A week of patient waiting has come to an end for Cork's colourful support, and the 43,000 crowd gathered in Páirc Uí Chaoimh for the replay of the All-Ireland football semi-final. But the Dubs are there in force too for this most eagerly awaited clash of these counties who served up such thrilling fare in the drawn game at Croke Park just a week ago. The players out on the field some 2 hours before the start of the big match. The crowds already assembled. Dennis Allen, Joe McGrath, the Cork team manager, Brian Mullins of Dublin and his colleagues out in the field, savouring the atmosphere. Christy Ryan, the Cork captain, with an anxious look on his face, and 3 people associated with many big games: Michael O'Hare, Eddie Kerr and Kevin Heffernan. And hello again to you and welcome to this special programme in which we feature tonight almost complete coverage of the All-Ireland football semi-final replay at Páirc Uí Chaoimh between Dublin and Cork. We'll also show you in just over an hour's time the world's richest horse race. That's the Budweiser Million from Arlington Park in Chicago. But we defer our coverage of the Dutch Grand Prix, which you'll now be able to see instead on next Saturday's Sports Stadium. But first, it's football. Dublin versus Cork in the All-Ireland football semi-final replay. Mick Dunn sets the scene.
And what a colourful scene it is, created by the vast throng of football fans, the biggest hosting at a sports fixture ever here in Cork, surely. For 4 hours now, these excited spectators have been pouring into the ground in anticipation of the first All-Ireland football semi-final to be staged here on the Lee side in 46 years. The last one was on the 15th of August, away back in 1937, when Kerry and Laois drew here in the old athletic grounds. But in this one, Cork are involved themselves, and playing at home, they're able to line out this side as it started in Croke Park last week. That means that John Evans, the left full-back who covered so much territory on Croke Park, is recovered from a slight injury, and that Owen O'Mahony successfully came through a fitness test here at noon time yesterday. Remember, he withdrew from the Croke Park match with a hurt leg after half an hour. Likewise, Dublin announced an unchanged side when their selectors deliberated on Wednesday night, so they revert to their starting lineup of last week. Consequently, Jim Ronayne is starting at midfield after being replaced during the drawn match. And John Caffrey, who was also taken off a week ago, is picked again in the side. And the referee is PJ McGrath from Mayo. History, the first All-Ireland semi-final in football to be played outside Croke Park in over 4 decades. And that first Dublin attack is broken up by Kevin Kelly. It comes to Brian Mullins in the early seconds. Twice he's in possession. Gets it to Barney Rock. He's playing right corner forward, and Cork have switched the defenders along with them. Anton O'Toole here. Kieran Duff now from the left wing. The shot from Kieran is about 25-30 metres out. Is a point. 29 seconds and Dublin take the lead. What a crowd it is here. I've seen perhaps this summer. It's like the setting at a continental sports stadium. So many. And the Dublin crowd who've been here in their thousands, already in good humour with that point from Kieran Duff. Kevin Kelly, it goes through. This is Barney Rock. Michael Creedon has to come out. They're in terrible trouble. That's a penalty. Surely a penalty. Barney Rock, the man who got Dublin, this equaliser. Barney Rock, the man here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, gets them a penalty now. Brian Mullins is about to take it. He settles it carefully. He's kicking into the end that's packed with Cork supporters. Brian Mullins wants to settle that ball again. He wants to mark out the steps intake. Michael Creedon, imagine facing a penalty in these first early minutes. And it's in, yes! Brian Mullins has made it! What an astonishing start for Dublin! It's been one of the happiest scenes with sing-songs and chanting around the ground. Jim Ronayne, this is Christy Ryan, gets it to Coleman Colligan. A Can Cork come back quickly? Coleman Corrigan lofting it ahead. Dennis Allen across to Dave Barry, and Dave has got the point. Dave Barry there, the scorer, the first Cork score, and they're playing just on 4 minutes. Brian Mullins, John O'Leary's kick out, right into his hands, trying to find Joe McNally, cut off by Mark Healy. John Allen has been fouled, that's a free in. The play goes on, but they're not aware that BJ McGrath is waving from the free. This is Dennis Allen. John O'Leary, they're playing furiously, but it is a free in. It's a free in. The referee is out there just beyond 45 metres. Ryan, the captain and the centre half-back, the free for Cork, and it's just about 48 metres out, over to the left to John Cleary. That's cut off by Pat Canavan here. Tommy Conroy down helping his defence. Ahead for Joe McNally, the young corner forward. Minor goalkeeper, remember last year, making tracks into the centre, and he's got a marvellous point. What a dream summer it's been for the young lad who was a minor goalkeeper this time last year. This is PJ Buckley, he's taking it over the sideline. It's Cork's line ball. The faces don't show it, but they must be quite satisfied at this stage of the game. Brian Mullins knocked away from him. Jim Ronayne. This is Kieran Duff. Nicely placed, but it went too far for Anton O'Toole, not for Barney Rock. Oh, beautiful pass to Kieran Duff. Kieran Duff now, it gets away from him. That's into Joe McNally. The goalkeeper cut it off. John Caffrey here. He's taken too much out of it. It's a free out. It's a free out. It's a free out there, but my goodness, that's the second time that Cork defence was in a tizzy. This last Sunday there were some weaknesses, it was apparent in the Dublin defence. It's in the Cork set up at their back that it's happening today. John Caffrey, right half forward, remember, despite that 13, John Evans, the left corner back, is at left half. That'll bounce to Michael Creedon. Jimmy Kerrigan, it is far too far for him. Dominic Creedon, the number 8, gets the free. John Evans here. Dominic Creedon. The referee says play on. Dennis Allen gets fingers to it, cut off by Tommy Drum. Knocked down by Coleman Corrigan for Cork. This is Owen O'Mahony. Dennis Allen here now. Dennis Allen inside, he's been tripped, that's a free in. The free to Cork. Joe McGrath running in to have a look at Dominic Creedon. The point just curls inside. And Dublin are in trouble with the right half back, Pat Canavan. He's not going to take part in the game. Way over on the far side of the sideline. Pat Canavan, it looks, is going to be stretchered off the ground. Kevin Heffernan anxiously out there along with Pat Canavan. He was hurt in that collision with Dominic Creedon. Coleman Corrigan here. The midfielder blasted out into the Sean party stand. Frank McGrath running way around the far side of the field. Badly taken by PJ Buckley was that sideline kick. So Mark Healy here, about 25 metres from his end line. John Caffrey cutting it off. John Caffrey out to Kieran Duff. Dave Barry, the other number 12, alongside him. Cut off by Jimmy Kerrigan. Trying to place Tyke Murphy. That was cut off and intercepted by PJ McGrath. Then he puts it into the path of Christy Ryan. Christy Ryan to Michael Hannon. It's a free in. It's a free in. Christy Ryan penalised for fouling Brian Mullins after Christy Ryan had got rid of the ball. That was a foolish foul then by the big centre half back for Cork. Barney Rock about to take the free. He's just inside the 45-metre line, maybe 40 metres out. It's a good angle for the sharpshooter. He lofts it over. Barney Rock adds another to his total already this year. John Caffrey and Brian Mullins fingering it away then. John Caffrey, but it's a foul on Coleman Corrigan here, centre of your picture, and there's the free to Cork. And so far the centre of this field has been dominated with Brian Mullins. Christy Ryan's free to Dave Barry. Pat Canavan, who was off the field for a minute or so, back on now. He's having his name taken. John Evans, who's programmed at left corner back, playing at left half now, into the hands of Tyke Murphy, and he's been fouled and really taken out of the game. The referee now is calling for Brian Mullins. Brian protesting his innocence. And really, this all hell is breaking out now. Dennis Allen and Mick Holden, angry words being exchanged, but it all started from that foul on Tyke Murphy when the right calf forward was flattened. Now this is the test of PJ McGrath's refereeing. Some anxiety in that Cork dugout. Let's look at John Cleary with the free. Beautiful free taking by the left corner forward. Coleman Corrigan, highest in the jump this time. Trying to find John Allen. John lets it slide through. Tyke Murphy is there, so is Ray Hazley for Dublin. Pat Canavan here now. Pat booting it away. Close to the sideline, it's gone over it. Kieran Duff and Mark Hannon. And really PJ McGrath is going to have to watch this wild swinging. Players are niggling around the field, and really the responsibility is on the referee. Referee having a look at Coleman Corrigan. Badly taken sideline kick comes to John Caffrey, trying to find Barney Rock. Jimmy Kerrigan, super game he had last Sunday. This is Dominic Creedon. John Cleary, but he won't prevent it from going over. Sideline kick to Dublin. Pat Canavan, glad to see that he's recovered from that injury, carrying the bandage from the head wound that he got in the collision. The sideline kick quickly taken and short to Nicole, and Dave Barry cuts it off. Pat Canavan is there to Jim Ronayne. Coleman Corrigan is the Cork man in the picture. Knocked down by Joe McNally, got away by Mark Healy. This is John Evans. Dave Barry now lets it slide through. Ready for it. Tommy Drum was alert to it. This is Michael Hannon. Dave Barry into the centre. Got that long pass very nicely. Lays it off to Dominic Creedon. Dennis Allen here fumbles it. Taken away by PJ Buckley. There's nerves by the experienced Allen. Bounced off his fingers. John Caffrey here, who's ranging right up and down that right sideline. Gave it away to Dave Barry. Free in, push on John Allen. The big number 14 there. It's to the left, it's just outside 20 metres. That's the angle, that's the line. And John Cleary gets it. So just coming up to the 22nd minute. Dominic Creedon here for Cork. Cork really have settled down so well. They were shaken for moments by the first point by Kieran Duff and then by Brian Mullins' penalty. The referee now letting very little go. Every free penalised, and I think he's wise to adopt that policy today. Michael Hannon's free. Jerry Hargan knocks it down. Tommy Drum back to Mick Holden. Kieran Duff looking where the left half forward is. Way out at the right half back position. John Cleary with them, the 15. Anton O'Toole, that's knocked into the path of Joe McNally. It's gone off the fingers of Kevin Kelly. Barney Rock is kicking this to the accompaniment of a lot of noise from the Cork supporters, and he swings away over to the left and wide. Take Kieran's name for that. That was a blatant trip, but Kieran looks as if he's hurt himself now. Michael Hannon with the free. Kieran Duff all on his own. Of course, his marker is Michael Hannon, who was taking the free. The pass to Jim Ronan, the shot from Jim at a difficult angle. It's a good point. That was on the 20-metre line. The big midfielder, he got a nice pass from Kieran Duff. It was at a difficult angle though, and he puts it over. PJ Buckley here to Brian Mullins. Anton O'Toole is swung out to the left. He gets the pass for Mullins. Anton O'Toole with the shot. That's from an angle, and that's the score. Anton O'Toole has happened again last Sunday. The score from the full forward. He worked around the full back nicely, but a lot of the praise is due to Brian Mullins. He planted the ball with a long foot pass to the full forward. It was nicely engineered by the midfielder. Dominic Creedon, but Brian Mullins gets a fist to it. John Evans here. Tyke Murphy. Good jumping, but he wasn't able to hold on to it. PJ Buckley now. PJ is penalised for holding on too long. Attempting to play the ball. Good legitimate harassment by the number 10 Tyke Murphy. Michael Hannon with the free. Cut off by Pat Canavan. Dave Barry toys it into John Evans, who's tripped. And the free quickly taken to Dave Barry. Dave Barry to Dennis Allen. Allen gets away from Ray Hazley. Tries to get inside Tommy Drum. He's grounded now by Ray Hazley. That must mean that Ray Hazley's name goes into the book, because that's the personal fouling that must be penalised according to the regulations. Dennis Allen with the wrist bandage. Ray Hazley's name goes into the book, and the free is to Cork. That's the angle that John Cleary has, and he gets the score again. 4 points now for John from frees, all of them. Con McNally here, knocked away by Mark Healy, comes to Kieran Duff. John Caffrey in the point. John Caffrey, the right half forward today, despite that 13, selected and numbered as the right corner forward, but playing right half. Dave Barry has run onto it. Dave now in his own half-back line. Owen O'Mahony bounces away from him off his fingers. Comes to Barney Rock, he's unmarked. Christy Ryan covering back quickly. Knocks it away from Barney. That's a 45-metre shot. Christy Ryan, the big Cork man, knocked it away from Barney Rock here. Knocked it out of his hands. And Anton O'Toole consoling Barney. It's the 45. Kieran Duff is angled 45 metres out. It's curling away to the left. Joe McNally gets it back into the centre. Anton O'Toole is on it for Dublin. Back to Kieran Duff. He has a straight run at it and a point. That was so nicely done. Joe McNally over the left corner, prevented it going wide. Back into Anton O'Toole. Anton didn't try to turn round and go for the score. Put it right into the path of the in-rushing Kieran Duff, and he gets the score. Into the last minute now of this first half. Brian, Joe McNally, he's causing Cork terrible troubles. That's Kieran Duff, he must score. He doesn't, the goalkeeper blocks it. It's gone wide. Kieran Duff is appealing to the umpire that he had been fouled, that the goalkeeper had fouled it too. Two Corkmen spoiling each other. Coleman Corrigan and Tyke Murphy going up together. Jim Ronayne back to Tommy Conroy, finding Joe McNally. Kevin Kelly reading the situation so well. Cut off the cross. Of the clearance. Tommy Trump. Brian Mullins and the referee brings the first half to an end. And the half-time score, Dublin are leading 1 goal and 7 points to Cork's 5 points. We'll be back for the second half after a commercial break. Set for the second half, and Cork have introduced Michael Burns to play at right half back for this second half. And the second half is on. There's such a big crowd here in Cork Equipe that they're still counting the gate receipts and the attendance down below. We've just checked. The sun has gone in momentarily. But it's still a beautiful day by the lead. Not so beautiful for the Cork team out there though. They're trailing. Can they do something in the second half now? That's Jimmy Kerrigan putting that pass far too far ahead of John Allen. Joe McNally here. He's caused Cork some problems. John Caffrey. Barney Rock. John Evans has gone back to mark Barney Rock now. Jimmy Kerrigan is left half in his normal position. John Evans, the cornerback, with that long solo meant for John Cleary, taken away by Mick Holden to Tommy Drum, and Dublin control it out of midfield, and it comes to the engineer of the whole thing, Brian Mullins here. John Evans, beautiful catching. Dave Barry now. Jimmy Kerrigan overlapping. Coleman Corrigan here. Coleman Corrigan from 35 metres out. It's gone wide. It's gone wide. But Cork are beginning to move with some fluency in these early minutes. Tommy Drum here knocks it down to Mick Holden, who skips past Owen O'Mahony. Michael Burns with the 19. Joe McNally, he's having a marvellous game. Joe McNally from almost 44 metres out into the hands of Michael Creedon. But young McNally is playing with such confidence. Slight pushing in the back then, surely, by the young corner forward. My goodness, what a season it is in his first senior championship for that number 15. John Evans here now in his normal left full back position. Brian Mullins again to Barney Rock. Barney Rock trying to find Joe McNally, cut out by Mark Healy. It comes to Kieran Duff. Kieran can't get past. Kieran with the shot now. He's good. Third point today for Kieran Duff. He was so persistent then. He deserved that score. John Cleary, look how far down he is. Dominic Creedon. Jerry Horgan puts it off. Dave Barry is inside. Dave Barry is cut off by John O'Leary. It was Dave Barry who got inside. He didn't attempt to rise it. First timing it, and then the goalkeeper got his right hand to it. 45-metre shot for Dublin. Cork are 6 points behind. That's curling nicely in. He allowed for the breeze very nicely. Coleman Corrigan here to his midfield partner, Dominic Creedon. Cut off by Jerry Horgan, who's having a much better day on John Allen today. Tommy Drum here. Dominic Creedon. Dominic Creedon gets away, but then the free to Dublin. Taken short by Owen O'Mahony to Coleman Corrigan. Jerry Horgan, the fullback. Dave Barry, the blonde, then he was fouled. About 25 metres out is John. The shot now from John, it curls again. There are only 4 between them. Now look at the Cork supporters. Minutes into the second half. And Cork have moved Owen O'Mahony to left half forward. Tommy Drum has gone right half back for Dublin. And this is Pat Canavan, he's now centre half back for Dublin. Dave Barry is inside for Cork. That's a drop to Michael Creedon. The referee is giving a free for a foul on Joe McNally. It's a free into Dublin. Referee pointing the direction of the free. Barney Rock it is to take it. Barney will be kicking into the end, the Blackrock end, that's covered by Dublin supporters, and he gets the point to the light of the Dubs at that end. Coleman Corrigan here. Then for John Cleary, he traps it nicely. Nobody inside for Cork. Tommy Drum is ever alert for Dublin. Christy Ryan unmarked for Cork. John Cleary just out at midfield. driving Cork forward. Can they open up something? This is John Allen. Tyke Murphy rather. Jimmy Kerrigan. John Allen now with the shot. He blasted wide. Oh, John Allen was so well positioned then, and the build-up was so good. But he puts it way far side of the field. Dominic Creed knocks it down to Tyke Murphy. Dave Barry, Jimmy Kerrigan is there. John Allen now. Must be a penalty. It is a penalty. John Allen. It was Dave Barry and Jimmy Kerrigan, the left half back, had popped up there to John Allen. John Allen has pulled down. Now it's Dave Barry to face John O'Leary, or John O'Leary here facing Dave Barry. Remember, Dublin have got one, Cork have got another. Now just those 2 points separating them, and what a semi-final we've got now. Barney Rock with the free now. Just outside 45 metres is the number 10. It's the 45-metre line. The shot is good. No, yes it is. That's marvellous kicking. It was about 47 metres. He was over the 45-metre line when he kicked it. It was good and true right down to that end. That's the Blackrock end that the Dubs are occupying. Fantastic atmosphere in Cork. Even greater than if this game had gone back to Croke Park. Dublin again on the attack. Kieran Duff here. He's on his own. Mark Healy with him now. He's got it. That ball came in from midfield. Kieran Duff picked it up around the 45-metre line. He ran right through. Mark Healy tried to pick him up, but he just walked in and slid it in under the body of Michael Creedon. Cork coming back. Dominic Creedon here. Can they recover again? Can they come back into the game? Tyke Murphy here from a difficult angle. That's a quick reply from Cork. Jim Ronan catching well in the middle of the field. More pressure coming on the Cork defence, and that defence has been in such trouble today. This is Joe McNally, one of the men who's caused it. Tommy Conroy now, the centre half forward, gets past Christy Ryan, Jimmy Kerrigan, but Tommy gets the point. We haven't seen too much of the centre half forward today, but that was a nice run by the young 19-year-old. 15 minutes in the second half. And Dublin taking over completely. John Coffrey and Don O'Toole knocked it down, but Kevin Kelly takes it away for Cork. Tyke Murphy here. PJ Buckley, the number 7. Jimmy Kerrigan overlapping. Still Jimmy Kerrigan. He's about 25 metres out. That's a great point by the halfback. Jimmy Kerrigan, who came all the way downfield. Christy Ryan, the centre halfback. And the captain has gone to midfield. This is going to fall to Christy Ryan. He's moved out midfield. Dominic Creedon now. Coleman Corrigan has gone centre half-back for Cork. Put off by Ray Hazley. Comes to Dave Barry. He turns inside. That's Dennis Allen. It bobbles out of his fingers. He recovers though. But Allen had run into a good position. Tyke Murphy. Oh, Dave Barry put that right into the hands of Mick Holden. And Dublin come away again. Pat Canavan here. Joe McNally off his mark and out to it so quickly. Tommy Conroy now. Great passing. Tommy Conroy trying to slide it in. This is Coleman Corrigan. He's now Cork centre half back. Tiger Riley here, the left half forward. Tiger Riley gets inside Brian Mullins. That's meant for Dennis Allen. Tyke Murphy now and PJ Buckley. But PJ had the time to recover and get it away. Anton O'Toole. Joe McNally is popping up everywhere today. Joe McNally, beautiful score. 18 years of age, and he really couldn't have dreamt about this. If a scriptwriter wrote this summer for Joe McNally, he couldn't have improved on the 1983 that it's been. Minor goalkeeper last year, magnificent forward on the senior side now. This is Jimmy Kerrigan. Dave Barry gets a toe to it. Pat Canavan there stretched at that end line. Umpire signalling for the 45 for Cork. Quickly taken by Tiger Riley to John Cleary, and he gets the point. Tiger Riley took that so quickly to John Cleary here. He cut off the ball, got the point, and he's limping just slightly, as you can see. Dublin again introducing John Kearns, replacing John Caffrey. That's a move they made last Sunday, and they made it in previous matches as well. Michael Burns knocking it down for Cork to Dominic Frieden. John Allen here. Still John Allen in possession. But can he get past Jerry Hargan? He hasn't been too successful today. It's knocked away from the full forward, and Ray Hasty gets it away. Kieran Duff here. The 19 is Michael Burns. Anton O'Toole on his own, trying to get inside now. That's gone wide from Anton. He couldn't pick up a fellow forward. Jimmy Kerrigan here now. Dominic Frieden. Tyke O'Reilly, or Tyke Murphy. Into the centre. Jim Ronayne gets it to John Kearns, and Dublin come away. Bad finishing by John Kearns. Bouncing away over the sideline kick to Cork. By Coleman Corrigan. Jimmy Kerrigan here. Meant for John Cleary, goes past both himself and Mick Holden. Mick Holden recovers first. And Mick Holden spinning away off his boot, hops over the sideline. 15 minutes left in this All-Ireland semi-final. Brian Mullins for Dublin. What a super game the big midfielder has had. Jim Ronayne, two beside him. Mark Healy for Cork, cutting it off. It's a 45 metres. That's the sort of hesitancy and nerves there has been in the Cork defence all day today. But it's symptomatic of everything that has happened. The Dublin defence in this replay, or the Cork defence in this replay. Barney Rock now with the 45. Nothing going wrong for him. Anton O'Toole here. Can he get inside now? John Kearns is the number 18. Right across to Joe McNally. Put it wide. Oh, Joe, it was the first wrong thing he has done today in what's been a marvellous semi-final for him. Can Cork do something in these closing stages? On their own Corky Queeve, they haven't played anything like they did in Croke Park. That's because the Dubs haven't allowed them. And here's one of the men who prevented them so often. And here's another, Joe McNally. Anton O'Toole. Barney Rock is inside. Joe McNally now. Joe McNally shot. Cut off by John Evans. But Anton O'Toole is here recovering. Can he get inside? Coleman Corrigan is the number 9. Tommy Conroy from the 20-metre line. He's set to score. Great persistence and trust in that attack by Dublin. That's been typical of their performance all through, and it's delighted these supporters who have travelled to Cork to see them. Breaks to Dave Barry. Dave Barry inside to Tiger O'Reilly. Meant for John Allen, but it's a 3 hours of foul on Jerry Horgan. Mike Murphy here, he's now switched to right corner forward. Dennis Allen is at centre half forward for the last few minutes. Now Dominic Creedon. The Cork players weren't alert to it. Tommy Drum was. Brian Mullins. Anton O'Toole. There was no Dublin man there for that nice flick. Kevin Kelly was for Cork. This is Coleman Corrigan. To Michael Burns. Joe McNally chasing after the right half-back. Brian Mullins. Michael Burns shot in. Jerry Horgan is there. And Jerry Horgan, who's turned the tables on John Allen today, as he did earlier in the year on Colm O'Rourke of Meath. The fullback who's played with such confidence. Indeed, all the team. Kieran Duff here too. O'Reilly wants to take it quickly. Jerry Horgan, this is Dave Barry, he's got it! The number 12 here with the goal. It was Tiger Riley's free from about 40 metres out. Jerry Horgan went up, it bounced off his fingers, down to Dave Barry, and he first timed it into the corner of the net. Christy Ryan. The number 23 is Eppie Fitzgerald. He's in for Tyke Murphy, just a few seconds. Seven and a half minutes gone. PJ Buckley shot. Well caught then by Dominic Creedon. Dominic coming away with it now. John Cleary was tripped by Mick Holden as he went to it. That's a free to Cork. Dennis Allen here shouting for the ball. They're anxious to get on with it. Tiger Riley there points to where the Cork man had been fouled. John Cleary who was fouled. Tiger Riley now, who lofted in the last free that led to the goal. This one is right towards the large parallelogram too. Knocked away by Jerry Horgan. And Jerry Horgan recovers. Pat Canavan first timing it. Dominic Creedon here. Pat Canavan gets it away. John Evans here. Coleman Corrigan now. Dave Barry, but the ball's gone over the line. Cork have 5.5 minutes to pull back 4 points. The sideline ball to Dublin. Tommy Drum. It's Brian Mullins, completely unmarked. Joe McNally way out midfield now. Brian Mullins again. What a super performance from the midfielder. Tom Conroy now. And Don O'Toole is under it. Kevin Kelly recovering fast. Anton gets it into his possession. And the cross. Barney Rock is there. Yes! It must be the goal! Almost a carbon copy of last Sunday's equaliser. And here come the Dubs again. Tommy Conroy. It's a free out. Taking too much out of it. Christy Ryan wants to get on with it quickly. Right corner back Mark Healy. John Allen, fouled by Jerry Horgan. Jimmy Kerrigan popping up on the left corner of the square, and then he just gives it away to Tommy Drum. John Cleary, or rather Effie Fitzgerald. This is Dennis Allen, John Allen, Effie Fitzgerald here in possession. 23 is Effie Fitzgerald. The referee looks as if he's going to throw it up between them. But Dennis Allen just couldn't get through for the shot. Tiger Riley, John Kearns gets it away, Jimmy Kerrigan. John O'Leary clearing it off the small square. Jerry Horgan clearing it away. John Kearns, Joe McNally, super catching Tommy Conroy. Tommy Conroy stepping inside, he put it wide. But it was Dublin at their best then. They've really taken over complete command of the semi-final. Jimmy Kerrigan now. Just 2.5 minutes left. Way Hazley. Kieran Duff. Jim Ronayne. Mark Healy gets it away. Dominic Creedon here. Bounces it off of Brian Mullins. Christy Ryan, Brian Mullins again. Oh, you've got to admire the persistence by the mid. But Brian Mullins out in the middle of the field again made that score. Bounced off of by 3 Cork players, and then he winds up shaking hands with Jimmy Kerrigan. And was so happy. But it's thirsty work watching this game. Eamon Ryan, the Cork trainer-coach. Last desperate words of advice. But it must be too late now for Cork. This is Tommy Conroy. Barney Rock runs into position. Joe McNally is inside. Oh yes, it's so easy. And he's overcome by youthful Dublin supporters. takes Dublin into the All-Ireland final in 3 weeks' time, and there they'll meet Galway in a repeat of the 1974 final. And there's one of the greatest heroes of the afternoon, Brian Mullins, the number 9.
And Brian Mullins, I think, will be the choice of many people as man of the match today, though Kieran Duff and perhaps to a lesser extent Joe McNally would certainly run him close. Well, another thrilling tussle between Cork and Dublin. Once again, football has really come up trumps and given us some marvellous excitement. If it was one-sided on the scoreboard in the end, it certainly wasn't that way all through the game, because Cork really played the game in a wonderful spirit and they fought all the way. Well, still to come on this programme, the views of 4 of the men most closely associated with Dublin's triumph today: Kevin Heffernan, the team manager, and 3 of the players. We also have, of course, the Budweiser Million for you. That's all after this short commercial break. And welcome back to you. Well, after the big game in Cork today, Mick Dunn spoke to the Dublin team manager, Kevin Heffernan, and 3 of the team's heroes, Brian Mullins, Joe McNally and Kieran Duff. Brian Mullins very modestly played down his own role when asked if this was perhaps his most memorable display in a Dublin jersey.
It's hard to say, really. Haven't had time to reflect on it yet, but I would say that it must be near one of the best Dublin displays as long as I'm playing, because we came down to Cork against all the odds, and I would say that a large majority of people in Ireland felt that we'd lost our chance last week. So coming down and winning so comprehensively, it would definitely put her up there with one of the best, all right. Yeah.
You tightened up your game considerably all over the field.
Well, looking back on the video of last Sunday's game, we were convinced that we played well below our potential last week, and so we tried to work on the things that we didn't do last week, and we worked a lot harder today on certain aspects of the game, like tackling and taking advantage of the chances we get up forward, and I think that it paid off, you know.
Yeah. What was it like out there, the atmosphere? In the first half you were facing the thousands of Cork supporters behind the city end.
Oh, the atmosphere was brilliant from both supporters, especially the Dublin lads to come down so far to give it some great cheer on. Fair play to them.
And what about your own? How confident were you? Were there any nerves starting off?
At the start, just going down the field, I was nervous, but once I got the first ball, took the nerves out of me altogether.
And more you came out towards the middle of the field, getting involved in the play.
I would like to come out and get involved. I don't like being stuck in the corner all the time.
Kevin, the penalty put Dublin away to a great start, but there was a period when Cork started to come into the game that, they looked to be taking the initiative. Were you a little bit concerned at that stage?
Yes, I think early on after the penalty we had chances of 2 goals and we didn't take either of them. And I thought Cork steadied the game at that stage. And the next 15 minutes, I think, were the only time I was really very worried about the result. After that, I thought we had control of the game for the rest of it.
Tell us about the goals. Can you remember them now at this minute?
Not really. The only one who remembers me, Owen.
Well, that's a good one to remember. Tell us about that.
I came down the wing and Barney put it in low, and I was going to take it up, but then I decided just dummy it and throw it in. I was surprised to take on through his legs. That would have been for the side.
And of course, that early goal that you scored from the penalty, that not only was a dream start, but as I saw it, it made the Cork defence jittery all through the game.
I don't know. There was it went by very fast. I was just delighted it went in, kind of with my record. I was happy to see it going. I didn't think any more about it. It gave me a great fillip, all right. But I still think that we were, at that stage we were slow. Like, we got a lot of chances after that. I think we should have nearly had another goal or 2 after that, and we didn't take them, you know. So while it settled us, we still weren't playing as well as we could have, you know.
When you say with your record, I mean, if you think you have a bad record, why are you deputed to take the penalties?
Well, I didn't say I had a bad record now, Mick. It's just it should be brilliant, but it's not brilliant. It's only great, you know.
You have improved with every game this year. After the Loud game, nobody thought you were going to win the Leinster final. Do you think there is still more in this Dublin side?
Definitely. We're still learning. Basically we're a very young team, and this is completely new to all of us. I know we've all played minor All-Ireland's 21s, but senior All-Ireland football is completely different, and it's something really to savour.
Well, now, what about such a big win? Do you think that's dangerous? Would you prefer to win by 2 or 3 points?
Well, not on the particular day I wouldn't, but in retrospect I certainly would, yeah. I think, like Cork, we weren't 11 points a better team than Cork or anything like that, and it doesn't do justice to the Cork effort today that we should finish up 11 points better.
Is this an easy team to motivate?
They're very keen to win. They're very keen to learn, and they work very hard on their game. And for that reason, they are easily motivated, easily prepared. There's something about an All-Ireland day that's different from every other day, and how they will cope with that is important in itself. I say Galway probably have more experienced players now than we have. The influence of Brian Mullins and Anton O'Toole and Tommy Drum and Mick Holden on the team is really a crucial element in it. If we didn't have that, we would be certainly lacking to a great extent.
What about Galway now?
I saw them against Donegal, and they weren't as impressive as a Galway team usually is, but I expect that they will improve, 300-fold at least before All-Ireland Sunday. Galway play good football. They have a tradition. They have a very sound back line. Their forwards will have Barry Brennan back among them, and that will make a big difference. Will be very, worthy opponents. It'll be a great battle. I'm hoping we'll win, obviously.
Kevin Heffernan, and already you can sense anxiety there with Kevin Heffernan, because no doubt he's worried that the euphoria that follows this triumph today might perhaps have too overbearing an effect on the players. But Kevin Heffernan rightly pointing out to the contributions there made by the older players in the team, and that certainly must make it it must make them feel all the better. And Brian Mullins, nice to see that he has retained his sense of humour after playing such a great game today. A little later on we'll have the Budweiser Million, but first news of other events today from Fintan Drury.
Well, Dublin supporters had double cause to celebrate because their junior footballers qualified to meet Kerry in the All-Ireland final with a clear-cut win over Tyrone this afternoon. Let's check now at the Gaelic Games scoreboard. First, that All-Ireland senior football semi-final replay, Dublin 4-15, Cork 2-10. The junior football semi-finals, Dublin 2-14, Tyrone 7 points. Kerry 18 points, Galway 5 points. The junior hurling semi-finals, Cork 1-11, Kilkenny 10 points. Galway 1-15, Cavan 5 points. And the Connacht under-21 football final, Mayo 1-19, Roscommon 1-6. In athletics, 42-year-old Danny McDade won the BLE National Marathon Championship over his home course in Letterkenny in the time of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 9 seconds this afternoon. He finished more than 3 minutes ahead of Kieran O'Dwyer in winning the title for the 4th time. Teresa Kidd of Ballinascreen was the first woman home. And in Cologne, Sidney Marie of the United States set a new world record for the 1500 metres. He clocked 3 minutes 31.23 seconds to beat the old record set by Steve Ovett 3 years ago. At the same meeting, Pierre Quinon of France set a new world pole vault record of 5.02 metres. In golf, Liam Higgins won the Rank Xerox Irish Professional Championship at Woodbrook today when David Feherty, who set the pace from the start, drove out of bounds and took a disastrous 7 on the final hole.